Hey guys, Bub here, and today we are in the menu of VM Fusion. If you're wondering why, I'm going to tell you. Today we're taking a look at a version of Windows 10 that was released in 2014. Wait, what? Windows 10 didn't even come out until 2015. I know. This build of Windows 10 is called Windows Technical Preview Build 987. This was one of the first versions of Windows 10 ever released to the public, and when we look at it, you'll see that it looks a lot like Windows 7 and 8 combined. One of the big features of this build is the fact that it did have a start menu with live tiles and a regular start menu. This build of Windows 10 does have a time bomb, as a lot of the other builds did at the time, so we have to disconnect the network adapter, we have to restart the virtual machine, and then change the BIOS date. Otherwise, we will get an error like we just did, and once we install the operating system, if we get that error again, the operating system will never start up again. The setup looks a lot like it does today. It's basically the same setup as Windows 8 had. So this is a different pre-release software license term. This isn't the same one. I'm sure somewhere in here it mentions that it's a time-bombed machine, but whatever. So we're just going to click Next, and we're going to install this. And here we are in the Windows 10 Technical Preview setup. It looks a lot like the Windows 8 setup does, since this was basically the first version of Windows released right after Windows 8. Setup doesn't take a lot. There was no option for a Microsoft account, and that was all the setup we needed. So here we are inside of Windows Technical Preview Build 9879, as it says down here. This is what Windows 10 originally looked like. So we're going to start down here. Our Action Center was this. As you can see, this build does have a lot of things like where the stuff is off-centered and it doesn't look right. That's because it's a beta build. There were no controls here, and in fact, I'm not sure if this version does. I don't think it does, but the Charms bar from Windows 8 was a big thing between Windows 8 and Windows 10. One build had it, then the next build didn't, and then one build did, and then the next build didn't. It was a big mess. Taking a look at the File Explorer here, we can see that some icons are different from Windows 8 and Windows 10. Some look the same. This looks exactly the same as it does now. We can look at the window borders here for a second. I really like how the X button is up here in the corner. I really wish that I could be able to use this this operating system as my daily driver, because I'm one of the people who really liked Windows 8. I know I said it, but I really wish I would be able to use something like this. This was also the first time that snapping windows to corners was a thing. Before, it was only here and here. Now it was the whole way around this display like that. For the first time, Windows apps did not open full screen. They could be windowed. This was revolutionary at the time because everyone knew how Windows 8 apps functioned. At the time, there were these three dots here, and you could do app commands, you could do search, share, print, settings, full screen. You could go back to Windows 8 if you wanted, but I don't think anyone wanted that. This is our task view. I'm not sure what it's called now in Windows 10. However, we can add a desktop and we can switch between these two. This was the first implementation of it because Windows 8 never had this feature. The search bar was just a button. It was never the big bar as it is now, and this is all it was. I don't think it even works. It does not work. And the weird thing is, we're going to take a look at the revolutionary start menu that was apparently a big deal. Here is your start menu. This is what they wanted, or they were going to make Windows 10 start menu look like. And there's a search here and a search there. And this search actually works. I know, it's a shock. So here we can see the live tiles that are not live. I don't think they were live. They might have been live, I'm not sure. You get all your typical apps that you would get in a Windows 8 installation, minus all the Candy Crush stuff you get with the newer versions of Windows 10. You get all the other bloatware like food and drink, health and fitness, maps, money, music. PC settings was still a thing, and it looked exactly like it did now, and it looks exactly like it did back with Windows 8. I can't remember how you would activate this. I don't think you could activate this at the time because it was just a technical preview. Maybe one day for a video on my second channel we can try activating this, but I don't really think that activation would even be a thing anymore.
Thank you. Welcome to Microsoft Product Activation. Sorry, it didn't seem to be a valid group of digits. Please enter or say the 7th group of digits. You can also say start over or say
I don't think we can activate Windows 10. Taking a look at the lock screen here, it is a typical Windows 8 lock screen with the regular sign-in. Even if you don't have a password, it asks you for a password. If you put in a password, it doesn't work, but if you just press enter, it lets you straight into the machine. Taking a look here in the start menu, we can see that a lot of this stuff is basically just Windows 8. There's two PC settings in this build. There's PC settings, which is right here, and then there's ZPC settings. They both do the same thing, however, they just open up in different instances. So for now, we can have PC settings and PC settings. They're actually different. I just realized this. One is normal, and the other one has these two starred ones. OEM, which does nothing, and that, which is apparently stuff that is apparently pending stuff to be added in there somewhere, I guess. Pending, yeah, so either they were going to add it, or they're not going to add it, or they're going to add it, or they decided not to. OEM just does nothing. I don't know what that's for. And on this version, we do not have any X buttons, so you have to force quit it that way. Even though we don't have internet, this website, I believe, does not exist anymore because it is for technical previews. I really like the way that applications open and close. I also like the fact that there's a drop shadow around these windows. You see, close. I really like the way that these apps work. Calculator still looked like this, and it was not available to go full screen, which maybe is something that we should have kept. Maybe one day I'll see if I can be able to use this all the time as my full driver. Here are some different backgrounds. Yeah, these are just the Windows 8 backgrounds that we had. I'm going to show you what happens when you connect to the internet. So just to show you, I'm going to connect, and I'm going to try to do something that requires administrative permissions, or actually it's too late for that. The first thing that happens as soon as it changes the date is licensing UI completely dies. It won't work. Next up, if we try to do something as an administrator, we can't run it. We can access the internet, or we used to be able to access the internet. So we type stuff in like Google, it brings up recommendations, but we can't actually access the page. So this will be the last time you're seeing this desktop before we restart. I'm going to try to personalize this and change some colors, because some of it is purple and some of it is not. So personalize, I believe, is still in here. In color, we can change to pink, but all of that still stays the same color. So you can still change all of this, but your start menu stays the same color. Okay, this will be the last time you're seeing this desktop. As we go to restart up here, you will never see this again. As you can see, now we are having issues with WinLoad. So let's disconnect the network adapter, restart the machine, and try to change the date back. Because as you'll notice, we will never be able to boot into that same installation again. So 11, and if we save that, again, the network adapter is disabled, that is. Oh. It will never boot again. It'll blue screen and it just dies. Enter does nothing. F8 does nothing. This computer's fried. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you found this interesting, and I will see you in the next one.